welcome to Cooper High School's Barbara A. Lehman Stadium for high school football as the Robbinsdale district rivalry is renewed here this evening. The Armstrong Falcons 2-0 coming in against the host Cooper Hawks, also at 2-0. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock, and Bill, this has become is still a great rivalry, but both of these teams have had some success in recent years. It's kind of gotten back to what it used to be, where a lot of these years you don't really know who's going to win. They're both pretty good programs right now.
Yeah, both teams are 2-0. They're both playing with confidence. They both have done real well with the things that they want to do. They have some questions. Both coaching staffs have some questions that they need to find out about before they get much farther into the season. So this is going to be a real strong telltale game, I think, for both teams. Aside from the rivalry, you add the rivalry in, and that makes it a little bit more personal.
Yeah, Armstrong's really had a couple of relatively easy games so far. The schedule certainly gets tougher from here on, and starting with tonight. And Jack Nagan, the Falcons head coach, admitted, he said, I'm not quite sure what we have, especially defensively yet. We're eager to find out because we just haven't been tested all that much in those first two.
Exactly, and he's got a new defensive coordinator who's working out well. The team has played very well defensively, but like Jack told us, they don't really know how good they are defensively or where they're going to be defensively. This will be a good test for them.
Cooper last week pulled away in a good second quarter and got Southwest pretty good after you and John Jacobson saw them the first week. A physical, penalty-filled battle, but they beat a pretty decent Park Center team. That was the type of test that you like to see. It wasn't always pretty, but it was a win for them.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they had two or three really big plays during the game, both offensively and defensively. They scored just enough points to keep Park Center behind them, and that was all they really needed to do. And that was a tough game. Physically, it was a tough game, but I think emotionally on both teams, it was a tough game. It was a hot day. Everybody was drained physically and emotionally. So that was a really good win for Cooper, I thought.
Let's talk key players to look at in today's contest. And a guy who's really lighting up the scoreboard on the stat sheet so far for the Falcons. He had a really good year last year, and he's off to a great start. Kevon Johnson, their running back.
Yeah, Kevon Johnson is outstanding. He's got to be considered one of the better running backs in the entire state of Minnesota right now. He's had a really good start to the season. He's explosive, he's fast, but he's also a pretty physical runner. I've seen a little bit of the highlights for him, and he's a tough kid. And that's what you like in a running back, particularly in the type of offense that Armstrong runs, where they feature one back. They don't have three backs or four backs like Elk River might have. They're just running, they're establishing the running game with one guy, and that's what Kevon does.
For Cooper, we're going to talk about one of their solid receiving group that have had quite a bit of experience in their program, and Samaji Young has had a good start to the season. He had a really good game last week against Southwest.
Yeah, he had a couple of really nice catches against Park Center and against Southwest, scored a couple of touchdowns. I believe he's got 5 touchdowns on the season so far, which is really good for a wide receiver because they only get a few touches a game, and especially in the offense that Cooper likes to run. They don't throw the ball unless they have to or want to. They make their living with the running game. So a guy that's got 5 touchdown receptions is a noticeable receiver.
Well, the rivalry has shifted a little bit in recent seasons here. For quite some time, it was, can Armstrong beat Cooper? They went many years without doing so, and now it's flipped these last few years, whereas
Absolutely.
Now the Falcons probably figure that they're the favorite coming in. They won 4 straight. Cooper's trying to say, let's turn that around. Let's get back to where we're on top.
And that's what makes it a rivalry game, is when somebody runs off a few in a row, then everybody's like, well, our class has never beaten these guys. Let's get out and do it. And that's what makes a rivalry game, is that the teams have to get out and play their best football right from the get-go. Armstrong, yeah, maybe they've had the upper hand the last few years, but Cooper's still a pretty good football team this year, and I think they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. It'll be interesting to see who holds up the longest tonight.
Both teams getting some guys back from injuries and a couple still out as well, and that's always part of it, of course, in football, and could be a precursor to another meeting at playoff time again, as they've had the last couple of years, but we get an early look here in week 3. Armstrong and Cooper, high school football action from the Robbinsdale School District on the way next year on CCX Sports.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
And welcome back here to Barbara A. Lehman Stadium. Armstrong will be kicking off to begin the contest here as Luke Wiesjohn getting set to put his foot to it. We didn't really talk about it in pregame, but there is a bit of a breeze tonight that might have a slight impact on the kicking and throwing game here this evening. It's by no means a gale force wind or anything, but enough to make a little bit of a difference. Wiesjohn getting into this one, and he'll drive it back to about the 1 yard line. And running it back is Young, and he'll be tossed down at about the 16 or so for the Hawks, as they will get first possession here with the sophomore Beckham Van Borst at quarterback. They rotated a couple of guys, he and Tavarian Thompson, in that first week against Park Center. Van Borst will probably get more snaps, it sounds like, but they may still use Thompson on kind of a situational basis as well. And you see he's done well so far. 7 TD throws already for Cooper early in this 2024 season. So they will start on their 16. And a look for the early handoff, and that one is going nowhere as Smith is stacked up. Good job up front by this Armstrong defense. Ray Ayala getting in on that stick. It looked like they were actually Everett Daly getting most of it. And then go to the ground again. Ball's loose. Scramble for it. Armstrong saying they have it. And it looks like they do. Oh, yes, they do. Ayala up with the fumble recovery for the Falcons. And they'll be in business deep in Cooper territory as the Hawks cough it up early. And Dawson Franke and the Armstrong offense will come out in excellent field position at the 16 after the fumble recovery there by Ayala.
Well, that's a huge turnover for Armstrong. As we see right there, the ball was dropped right at the line of scrimmage.
So Franke and the Armstrong offense, he hasn't really had to throw that much in the early going. They've run the ball so effectively, but a really good dual threat quarterback and a veteran performer for them as well. Going to go to Johnson on first down, and he is met and wrapped up as Cooper getting good penetration up front that time. Tackle for the Hawks by Maceo Finney. And no gain as you look at Franke's numbers this year.
He's had a good start to the season. Hasn't had to throw a lot, about 10 passes a game, but that keeps the defense honest.
Yeah, and capable of throwing a lot more than that if needed. They've also had Gideon Brecker, their best returning receiver, nicked up early in the year. He's going to try and give it a go here tonight, but 2nd and 10. Back to Kevon Johnson. This time he gets to the edge, and he's going to go in for the touchdown.
My goodness.
Armstrong will strike first. They stopped him on the first play, but not on the second. And the Falcons will get on the board early here.
Now, Kevon Johnson did a great job of reading the block in front of him, and the flank support player was well blocked, and he got around the end and was wide open, and he's got good enough speed to beat almost anybody to the goal line.
Luke Wiestjohn on to attempt the extra point, and he knocks it through, and not the start that Cooper wanted. Armstrong will go up early 7-0, just about a minute and a half into the contest.
But you can see right here, he gets around the corner. Good block downfield. There's nobody there to stop him, and he being Kevon Johnson, he's got good enough. He's impressive. He's got good enough wheels to run to the outside, and he's strong enough to run inside.
So the Armstrong offense set up in great field position after the fumble recovery, and they quickly take advantage of that. Cooper hoping for a better second time with the football. Young will field it again here, makes a little cut back, and then popped as he gets to the 25-yard line. So a little bit better field position on their second possession for the Hawks.
Yeah, it was a much better return that time.
Look at the starters offensively for Cooper there on the right, and the defensive starters for the Falcons on the left. So they'll spot it on the 26-yard line. And Borst yet to go to the air here. Now he's going to look to throw. Gets it out to Young. Almost got away from that tackler out there, but Noah Gorgos held on and then got some help. Just a nice, safe, quick completion for 5 there for Van Borst.
And that's exactly what they needed to do to start off with. Get a good pass, get good yardage. And Young is a threat. Whenever he has the ball, he's got speed to get past almost everybody.
Go with the handoff this time, Davison, and he'll be out close to the 40, and we'll have a first down for the Hawks as he picks up 6 or 7. And they'll get their first down of the contest here. Well blocked this time by the Hawks. Quick little double thrown at the nose guard.
Yep, and the offensive line is a good, solid offensive line for Cooper. At all 5 positions, they're pretty strong.
From their 38 now, new set of downs for Cooper. Van Borst looking out, and now he's going to be dropped as he took off and tried to run that ball. Thrown down by Luke Pappas, who's been primarily an offensive lineman, but they knew this year he's good enough and big enough that they're going to use him on a fair amount on the defensive line too, as well as Josiah Page, another of their standout O-linemen that they are going to throw in there defensively, particularly on nights when you need a little more, and maybe in a game like this.
Absolutely. And he's good size. He's a good sized lad playing on that defensive end spot on that odd front, the 3 front that they use.
Short loss on that play, so 2nd and 11. Swing it out to the outside, and that one's going nowhere. Young met immediately, and there'll be another short loss on the play. Obviously, he'll get forward progress back to the spot when he was first contacted there, but they will lose a little bit.
That was a heck of a open field tackle by Gorgos, the cornerback, who read that. They had 2 receivers out there, and he picked the right one to go tackle.
Yeah, he was able to slip under an attempted block there from Emmanuel Carmo, the Gopher recruit for Cooper. 3rd and 12 now, and they're going to use a timeout here. Tony Patterson, the Cooper co-ed coach, has run their offense for a long time, and they wanted to make sure they're on the same page. They got that early first down, kind of settling things down a little bit after the early turnover, but now facing a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and this is not an enviable position. 3rd and 12, there's really no good play to call for 3rd and long, and
So look at Willie Howard, the co-head coach for Cooper, and kind of transitioning. He's the athletic director here now, activities director, and transitioning more into that role these last couple of years, but still involved obviously with the football program. And it's really hard to understate the impact he's had, not just on this football program, but this whole school community.
Exactly.
I mean, he's just come in and done so many good things. And Tony Patterson, maybe a quieter guy, a different kind of guy, but with this football program has done equally great things.
Absolutely, and he follows a lot of the same educational precepts that Willie has.
Van Voorst throwing deep downfield. He's got a man, and it is complete. Down near the 20-yard line, Christian Lloyd will haul it in.
Boy, that was a nice ball, and that was pretty well defended, but Van Voorst really put the ball right on the money for Lloyd.
Gain of 43 for Lloyd. Pretty good protection, or enough anyway, to get that one out.
The sophomore quarterback really laid it out there, and Lloyd makes a really nice adjustment and catches the ball beautifully.
Going to hand it off to Emmanuel Carmo, sweeping to the left, and he is cut down, but will pick up a few. We're actually close to 5, it looks like. Yeah, about a 5-yard gain. Carmo is kind of the do-everything guy. I mean, his stock and trade, his primary position collegiately, I think, will be as a linebacker, but offensively, they're going to work him into a lot of different ways. Just a great athlete, great football player.
Yeah, he plays linebacker. He'll play both inside and outside. He plays, sometimes when he's a linebacker, he's almost like a strong safety. Offensively, he's a tight end. We've seen him just carry the ball on a handoff. He's a very versatile athlete.
He'll play some wide receiver even this year, it sounds like, too. Hand off to Davison here, and another pretty decent pickup there is wrapped up by Avery Oseth. And
officials time out on the field.
Yeah, I thought at first there was a flag, but now I'm not so sure that's the case. Might be an injury or a helmet lost there. Looks like they're going to end up just short of the first down. It'll be third down and 1. Well, a good answer here for Cooper after Armstrong had gotten that early turnover and then quick touchdown.
Yeah,
There's
Cooper's
a look
really
at
answered.
Jack Negan, the Armstrong head coach, and they have. I was asking him, kind of about the rivalry and the tenure, and he said it's still a big rivalry, but he said it kind of feels like maybe there isn't the nastiness, if you will, that there was a few years back, and both teams. He said, I have nothing but respect for their staff.
Well, I think that's part of what we were talking about with what Willie Howard put together when he came here, and that Tony Patterson and the rest of the staff have kind of bought into. Not kind of, they've bought into the fact that the football program is more than just a single game, and it's more than just being emotional.
Third down and a yard for the Cooper offense here. Going to go to Davison. He is popped. He got a little bit of a forward lean, and it's going to be close. It might end up being a fourth down here, it looks like.
Looks like it's going to be a fourth down, but it's really close. It looked like he got a...
Jackson Wiley and company getting in there. They did stop him short, so officially no gain there. It looked like, I thought he might have fallen forward enough to at least make it a measurement kind of thing, but apparently not.
Evidently not, yeah.
Well, will they go right back trying to just pound it straight ahead here? Fourth down for Cooper. They do. Davison, and this time they will pick it up. That's the thing. It's really difficult to stop that twice in a row.
Exactly. And, and it's partly a pride thing for offensive linemen, but we see they get a good push, and Davison actually reads the block very well. And the push got the penetration slowed down just enough for Davison to hit that seam and get a yard or two.
And not a bad wham block there from Carmo. That's not a bad guy to have leading the way a little bit there, too.
Exactly.
First and goal from the 8 as Cooper tries to answer that Armstrong early touchdown here. Nice drive they put together, including that long completion. Handoff, Davison cutting, this time wrapped up there by Wiley. And looks like no gainer, maybe even a short loss on the play.
And Everett Daly penetrated and forced that play back inside. Armstrong's defense is so far been pretty aggressive. They're coming across the ball pretty hard, and they're sending linebackers on almost every play.
So second and goal from the 9 now for Cooper. 4:15 to go in the first. They trail 7-0, but putting together a nice march here and trying to see if they can answer that Armstrong score. Van Voorst looking, now he rolls right, throwing, looking to Carmo, but well covered out there defensively by Bram Hatteen. And I think a smart decision, just kind of loft that one up and throw it out and live to play again here.
Yeah,
I mean, as good as Carmo is, you
something.
don't want to just throw it up for grabs.
No, and you don't want to take a sack. So, it's a good decision. A young quarterback, a lot of times young quarterbacks don't make that decision.
I think sometimes people don't realize that throwing the ball away can be a very good thing at times.
Absolutely.
So third and goal from the 9 here for Cooper. They're far enough out that you probably won't see him run the ball, and they're not. And it's going to be a little throwback to Carmo.
Oof.
He is met, and they hold on and get the stop. Cal Pallon coming up. Not as big as Carmo, but he got down low around the ankle. Yeah. Got a little help eventually, but he really mostly got him to the ground on his own there.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be a pretty nice play to start with.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Pallon reading it so well, I don't know, that one might have, I mean, I like the play call a lot.
Yeah.
And they actually executed well, but the one guy that wasn't fooled was Pallon.
Yeah. And Jeremiah Hoskins made a heck of a block on Everett Daly. He knocked him right into next week there.
Going to go for it here, and why not? On this spot, fourth and goal. Van Voorst throwing, and that one's up and over the top into coverage there as he looked for Chris Oates, and it will fall incomplete. So an excellent drive for Cooper, but an excellent stop ultimately for Armstrong as they will maintain that 7-0 lead.
And I know Coach Negan was concerned about, how good their defense really was. And after that long pass play, it looked, well, maybe they're susceptible in the secondary a little bit. And they tightened everything right down and stopped them on a inside the 10-yard line.
So Cooper will give it up on downs. Armstrong football at their 15. Obviously not nearly the field position they had the first time after recovering that fumble, but we're going to get an offside here, it looks like, against Cooper. Make it a 1st and 5.
Ooh. That offensive player was moving virtually at the same time. That's a tough call for the linesman to make.
And off to Kevon Johnson. Wrapped up. He will get enough for the first down. Tackle made for Cooper by C.J. Mikely. They'll spot it on the 27 now for Armstrong. Back to Johnson, sweeping right. He will pick up about 5 more there. That's the one thing. I mean, obviously they've got Kevon, who's a great back, but a very good and veteran offensive line too. And
Right.
they were saying it. It isn't just that they're talented, but they've been in the system. They're able to run, some things together well.
Right. And that's the whole key to the offensive line play, is how well those 5 guys can work together to make things happen.
2nd and 5 now for Franke and the Falcons offense. Back to Johnson, this time going nowhere. As good penetration up front as Ingram getting in there. And he was there about the time the ball was, and Johnson tried to make a cut around him, but Ingram was having none of it, and it'll be a loss of a couple.
And Ingram really gets a good penetration, as you said, Jay, to take that play right away. And that's a key to the defense, is getting into the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 7 now for Armstrong. Franke yet to throw a pass, but that may very well change here. Dropping to throw, he's going to dump it off to Kevon Johnson, setting up a little brush screen, and he gets a block. Johnson down the sideline and finally knocked out of bounds, but he'll be down around the 40 of Cooper. Be a pickup of 30 yards on the play.
Wow.
So they go to the air, I guess, but a safe to the air.
Yep, and just a little dump off, and you get all 5 of those big guys downfield. They don't even have to touch anybody. They just got to get in the way, and Kevon Johnson knows where to run.
Cooper at least was able to get over there and seal off the sideline. I thought for a moment there was a chance he was going to go all the way down that sideline. From the 40, this time Franke will keep it. Franke into the secondary, and he goes down the sideline for the touchdown.
Ooh.
He's an effective thrower, but he's an effective runner as well, and he'll rip off a 40-yard touchdown run right there.
Boy, that was as well executed a quarterback run as I've seen in a long time. Those 5 guys up front really put it together. The last 2 plays, they've really made a difference, obviously, on this drive with the 2 long screen pass and then the long run by Franke.
Wiesjohn on to attempt the extra point, and his kick is up and good. So with 35 seconds to go in this first quarter, Armstrong now leading at 14-0. Another look at the tail end of that as Franke.
Well, once he got to the sideline, there was nobody could catch him. Here we see a nice read, gets a really good inside block, and there's nobody out there to catch him.
And I wonder if Cooper realized that it kind of almost seemed like they didn't, that wasn't Johnson that he was faking that ball to either, because they kind of sold out to stop the back there, and turns out he didn't have it.
Well, that was a key situational setup for both teams, as Armstrong makes the stop at their own 9-yard line, but then gets a 80-plus yard drive.
Ooh, that kick went just out of bounds. It looked like it was going to be a touchback, but it kind of veered left there and went out of bounds. So not a bad idea, I thought, kicking that ball, trying to kick it away from Young.
Yep. So the ball will come out to the 35. Not bad field position.
No, and Cooper did some good things last time.
Yes, they've just can't let the score bother them. It's very tough from a coaching point of view to tell your guys, don't worry about the score. The score will take care of itself if you play the game. But it's really important that you focus on what we want to do.
Smith taking the handoff, face mask.
You didn't call that one.
They got him. As he ripped off about a 5-6 yard gain, and then his helmet was grabbed there. Gabe Hall, he knew it. It'd be a 15-yarder.
Yeah, that's. As we'll see here, it's a good lead blocks out there, and he gets past, but yeah,
ripped the helmet right off.
Ripped the helmet off of the running back with a grab on the face mask.
Yeah, you're getting blocked like that, and you just kind of reach out for whatever. But a big gainer there for Cooper. They're into Armstrong territory at the 44. We're under 20 seconds to go now in the first. Van Voorst looking to throw deep down the side, up for Young, and looks like he's got it. Right in between two defenders. He'll catch it at the 3-yard line. 41-yard pickup.
Samanji Young really fought everything there. He had the inside position, but he really fought the D-back, and the D-back played that really nicely.
And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. A great catch, and Cooper on the doorstep here. So after one, it is Armstrong 14, Cooper nothing, but Cooper threatening to get on the board. We'll be right back here on CCX.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
Young living up to advanced billing there, hauling that one in. A 41-yard grab to put Cooper inside the 5-yard line. They're down 14-0, but looking to answer here to begin the second quarter. And they're going to go with a power look in the backfield. Carmo is at quarterback, and he's got 3 backs in front of him, and Carmo's just going to take off and try to power in, and that's exactly what will happen. A good push up front, and they go in easily. So Cooper getting on the board here on the first play of the second quarter. As Carmo pushing it in.
And again, we see a little bit of the versatility that Carmo brings.
Wasn't a whole lot of doubt what they were intending to do there when they came out in that formation, right?
Well, you got six guys blocking at the point of the attack. It's pretty much a given.
Extra point is up and good. Richard Besa able to bang that one through for the Hawks, so they cut the lead in half. Now 14-7 here after one play of the second quarter. That long completion to Young, setting up the Emmanuel Carmo touchdown run there for the Hawks.
And we've seen 2 really good long passing plays. Here we see the touchdown run, and you can see Carmo just following his lead blockers, and the offensive lineman doing a nice job of getting a push from the 3-yard line. I don't know what else you can do defensively. You can't stack 11 guys right there at the point of attack, but boy, Emmanuel Carmo showing his versatility there.
I think old linemen kind of love that too, when you say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to line up, we're going to blast forward hard, and he's going to follow right behind you. And juggled a bit, but then brought forward by Falcons, and Farrell DeLine on the return. There is a flag down on that play right at the end of the play.
Might be an illegal block would be my guess, just because of the location. Yeah,
be a hold, it looks like.
Holding penalty against the Falcons.
So that will back them up 10 yards.
Look at the offensive starters here for Armstrong on the left, Cooper D on the right. So they'll be back right about the 20-yard line here. Armstrong leading at 14-7. They had one drive that didn't require much yardage at all after the turnover. The second drive, though, was an 85-yarder.
Yeah, that was an excellent drive. Culminated with two really outstanding long plays that got that second touchdown.
Yeah, the little screen to Johnson and then the quarterback run by Franke. Franke's going to swing it out. Gideon Brecker on the catch. And the ball trickles out. Let's see. Cooper pounces on it. Looks like it stayed in bounds, and
yes,
it will
it
indeed be Cooper football. Well, a turnover there and a big turn of events as Hayes will pick it up. They got the completion out to Brecker, who's coming back off an injury, their leading returning receiver, but he coughs it up.
Right there. Yeah, the ball gets stripped out, and for Cooper, luckily the ball stayed in bounds barely. Oh boy, you cannot carry, you got to carry the ball high and tight. The ball got away from his body and Brecker's body, and he didn't have a chance to hold on to it.
Smith on the carry here inside the 30. He'll pick up 3 or 4.
4-yard gain of the play, second down.
So Cooper trying to see if they can take advantage of the turnover like Armstrong did earlier.
Boy, they really set up a nice play there. Even though it was only 4 yards, it was a nice run and was well blocked.
Van Voorst looking right now, has to tuck it and throws into traffic, and it's batted away. A couple defenders there trying to go to Young, and I think Cooper's fortunate to still have the football after that one.
Well, after a couple of plays that they've had, that was nicely defended. And Young is going to attract a double team most of the time the rest of the night, I believe. Now we've got a 3rd and long. And I would guess we got to consider this 4-down territory, wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
Jay?
I would definitely think so. They've got a 3rd and 7. They were a little late getting that play in here. They might need to be hurrying things up just a touch. They do get it off, and Voorst, here comes the blitz, and he takes a hit, and it'll be an incomplete pass. A little delayed rusher, Fred Dasson coming in and getting a solid lick on the quarterback. And Voorst, just as he was throwing that ball, took a big hit. Be 4th down. And I think by him delaying, the back didn't see him just in time here. Watch Smith sliding over right, and all of a sudden he realizes,
oh my God. Yeah, that was almost a disaster.
And now I think Cooper's going to use a timeout here. You want to make sure you've got your best play call for this spot here. It'll be 4th and 7 for Cooper after this timeout. And a little nuances there, Bill. You don't normally, you think if I'm blitzing, I want to come immediately as fast as possible.
Right.
By Armstrong delaying that a little bit, I think that really, it was a key to him getting there.
Yeah, sometimes that, it isn't always intentional, but many times you have a blitz that's delayed. You tell the blitzing guy, wait till you see the seam and then go. Don't just try to hit a seam, but wait till the seam opens up and then hit it as fast as you can. And that's a really good way to blitz.
So a key play here after Armstrong had that turnover. They're trying to get a stop. Cooper, meanwhile, trying to keep this drive going here on this 4th and 7 from the Falcons' 30. And Roars dropping to throw, fires, and it is complete. And Smith will have enough for the first down inside the 20 to about the 17 or 18-yard line.
Well, that was a well-executed play because the receiver running the slant just got leveled, but that left the flat open for Smith, who gets to run 5 yards before he gets hit.
And knowing that it was fourth down, he wasn't going to take any chances. He just lowering his head and get as far as he can there.
Well,
he
for
was
certain.
not going to dance around or anything. So first down from the Armstrong 18. Van Voorst will hand it off to Davison, and he is wrapped up there. Nice tackle by Jackson Wiley for Armstrong. And maybe about a half-yard gain there.
I thought it was actually a little bit more. It looked like he got past the line of scrimmage.
Short gains in that play. Second down.
Second down and 9 now for Cooper. Trailing 14-7, but threatening here. Van Voorst will loft it up, looking for Young, and it's on target. He's got it. Touchdown Cooper, and they're within an extra point of tying it up.
So turnovers have played a big part in the first half of this game, each team getting a touchdown off of a turnover. And Samaja Young making another really nice catch. He's really proving to be a very solid and dependable receiver.
Extra point kick is good, so at 9:26 to go in the second quarter, Cooper tying things up at 14 apiece. Well thrown ball and a great move to get himself free, but boy, that's a perfect throw too.
Yep.
Gorgos got his hips turned a little bit there, and then it was all over.
And Van Voorst does a really nice job. He drops a dime right on there. I mean, the defender was in pretty good position. Not quite close enough. He got turned around a little bit by Young's inside move, but he recovered. But the ball was just in the place where he could not get a hand to it and couldn't get a way to strip the ball when Young caught it. Young makes a nice move and gets very open.
And his teammate DeLon Gurley got the best of that celebration collision there. I thought Young did another, obviously catching the ball first and foremost, but he protected it because the DB tried to rake it out. He realized he couldn't make a play on the ball initially, but he thought, well, maybe I could strip it, and Young was having none of that. Ooh, and a seam opens up here for Wadkey. Lucas Wadkey on the return out just over the 40-yard line for Armstrong now it's their turn to try and answer as Cooper has put 2 in a row on the board after Armstrong had built that 14-0 lead after a quarter.
And I think now each team they've had some really good plays. They've had a couple of things that haven't gone the way they wanted them to. Both teams have taken advantage of turnovers. Now we're going to see who's going to settle down and do what they do well and do it consistently.
First down, on the Armstrong 40 here for Franke and crew. And
false
center didn't snap it there. They weren't on the same page. So mark off 5 against the Falcons. It seemed like enough guys moved that you might think it was the center that was the guy who didn't have the snap count there, perhaps.
If 10 guys go and the ball doesn't get snapped, usually it's the center not remembering the snap count. I don't want to disparage anybody, but that happens once in a while.
1st and 15. Fake it to Johnson. Franke throwing complete, but a nice quick hit delivered there by Jordan Dalton for Cooper. Wadkey on the catch. Got about back to the original line of scrimmage there.
Dalton make a nice one-on-one open field tackle.
Boy, there's where reading it really helps you, because the receiver had no chance to make a move on him, and he was on him too quick.
And it was a nice pass play.
A little flinch there on the right side of the O-line. Cooper pointing, and the official agrees. I think it's going to be Josiah Page, who just kind of didn't hold
flinched.
Still there.
Yeah, just flinched a little bit. But the thing is, the defensive guys didn't jump into the neutral zone.
So we will go back on the penalty, then we go back forward on the completion, and then right back on another penalty. So we're back at 2nd and 15 now. Franke rolling to his right, steps up, throws, complete, and out of bounds right near the marker. Here goes Eli Kemple. And he will have enough for the first down right at the line. 50.
Yep. That was a really well executed play. Franke puts the ball, we see it right on the open guy, and he was not open until the ball was right there. That was a really well executed play.
At the 50, Kemple getting the first down. Here's Kevon Johnson up the middle, meeting up with Tony Colley. They
don't throw him down
and throw him back. 5-yard gain though for Johnson. Tony Colley coming back. He got hurt right away in the beginning of that game against Park Center, and that guy has been a heck of a Cooper Hawk over the years. I was saying to you earlier off camera, Bill, that he's not as big as Carmo, so he doesn't get, maybe the recruiting hype and all that. But as far as being a high school football player, I'll take Tony Colley on my team anytime.
Yeah, he's really done a nice job, and I do remember him getting hurt in that Park Center game, and it's good for Cooper to have him back.
Back to Johnson, trying to bounce it out. Steps through a tackle, stays on his feet. And Johnson working his way down that sideline. You talked about earlier, he's got some strength too, because there was a pretty good tackle attempt on him early on, but he's able to break through
almost
it and
at
gains
the line
22.
As Helen comes in and gets a good lick at him, but he just breaks the tackle.
Down to the 23-yard line of Cooper. Armstrong hoping to retake the lead here. Is down about 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Franke will give it to Johnson. Works his way forward, driven back, but again, a pretty nice pickup. I mean, even the plays when he's taking some hits, they're getting 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, he's getting into the line of scrimmage and forcing the issue. He got a couple of yards after contact.
Actually, they'll call that about 3.5 yard gain. Didn't get quite as far as I thought there, but just inside the 20. So call it 2nd and 7. Franke, fake, now rolling. Carmo blasted the blocker out of the way there and thrown incomplete at the feet of Wadke. Pretty well covered. And sometimes even when you're a pretty good sized O-lineman, you can get lit up a little bit. Carmo knocked him back into his quarterback, Franke. I think it was Lucas Nelson who peeled back to make that block. And he kind of got lit up a little bit. I guess he stayed in the way enough to protect him, enough to throw the ball anyway.
But he was pressured enough that it wasn't a particularly great throw either.
Right. Franke keeping it after faking that handoff, trying to get to the edge. It'd be interesting to see where they pushed him out.
Oh, close to the line to gain.
Yeah, he's right near that stick. Looks like they're going to say it is a first down. Yes, move the chains.
Franke's a surprisingly tough runner. I did not realize that he was as physical a runner as he appears to be in this half so far.
Yeah, good athlete, baseball player, hockey player, and football player obviously here as their quarterback, and a veteran one at that. Here's Kevon Johnson taking the handoff, and he is stacked up. A lot of guys in Navy getting to him that time. You know, coming into this game that the Cooper guys, you know, been hearing about how good of a season Johnson's having. We got fired up to try and stop him, and he's gotten his, and they've gotten some good hits on him too. It's been a little bit of a mixture.
Absolutely.
But that one screenplay was the biggest one that he's had, really, with that 30-yard gain that helped set up their touchdown.
And he's the kind of running back, if he gets a little bit of daylight, he's gonna be gone.
They fake it to Johnson. Now the throw incomplete. Franke little behind Luke Wiesjohn there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wiesjohn really didn't have a chance to catch that. That ball was behind his right shoulder. Which now makes a 3rd and 10.
Just past the halfway point here of the second quarter. It's been a good one. Armstrong scored twice in the first quarter, and then Cooper scored just first play of the second, and then they get another touchdown about a couple minutes later after a turnover. So we're even at 14. Pulls it back from Johnson. Now throwing complete. Kemple is knocked out of bounds, but will have enough for the first down, 1st and goal.
Boy, and Franke reads this run-pass option about as well as it can be. He rides and rides and rides until he sees what the defense is going to do, and then realizes that his receiver, Kemple, is all by himself. Well, I guess I can throw it over there now. And you see there is nobody there.
Boy, and you can see why. I mean, that's a hard play to defend if it's blocked well enough that they have that much time.
Yep, absolutely.
1st down and goal. They go to Kevon Johnson, and he will get in for the score. Armstrong retaking the lead here with 5:46 to go in the second. Nothing fancy there. They're just going to give it to their best to try and finish the drive, and he does exactly that.
So Armstrong answers Cooper's game-tying touchdown with a touchdown of their own. Kevon Johnson getting his 2nd touchdown run of the day. Pretty nice run, well blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Ooh, big rush there, but able to get the kick up and through is Wiesjohn. So 21-14 Armstrong. Another look at that touchdown by Johnson, well blocked on the left side, and they can't get to him until he's just about to the goal line.
Again, we'll see. He gets right through and he breaks the tackle at the goal line. He got hit, but he broke the tackle. He's the kind of running back you've got to tackle him and put him on the ground. Otherwise, he's just going to keep right on going.
Well, Bill, we said that some of these last meetings between these two, the regular season one a year ago was good, but some of the other ones haven't been as close lately. But shaping up like this one is, at least at this point, certainly looking like it will be.
Yeah, following where we've been so far, you know, last guy to hold the ball is going to win.
Wiesjohn kicking off here for Armstrong. A little higher, shorter kick this time. Lloyd coming up, fielding it here. And tiptoeing up the sideline there, and stopped at about the 30-yard line as Armstrong did a pretty good job of pinning him to that side. You could tell they were trying to do that. It, you know, makes things a little bit easier to cover if you're able to hem them in. But I think a pretty good showing by Van Voorst as a sophomore quarterback too. He's you know, a couple years younger than his counterpart Franke, but he's pretty good poise so far, and Cooper's offense after that early turnover has come alive and done some good things.
Absolutely, and he's really matured a lot in the last couple of weeks since we saw him in the opener.
And off here to Davis, and oh boy, he got popped good by Kemple coming up. He made a nice move initially, but then Kempo lined him up and was able to drop him in his tracks.
And he does a nice job. He bends, he pops out, and then boom.
Gabe Hall coming up to kind of force him back
yeah.
inside, and those are kind of a linebacker's dream when you get a guy stopping to try and make a cut. But they got 3, so 2nd and 7. Van Voorst throwing too high for Young that time.
Just a little bit high. That's where a little bit of pressure, just enough pressure on Van Voorst to get that ball up a little bit, and Young could not get up and get it.
Yeah, I agree. That was it altered their timing and rhythm a little bit there. Just he could see the flash of that white jersey coming at him. So 3rd and 7 for Cooper here. Be a big stop for Armstrong. If they could get it for Cooper, they would love to continue this drive. Van Voorst lofting it up for Carmo, but incomplete. As he was breaking open, but threw it a little bit earlier maybe than he wanted to, and they just weren't quite on the same page as far as the depth of that route, it seemed like.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown by Van Voorst, but that was pretty well defended too. That was nicely done by the Armstrong defense. I'll be interested to see most of Cooper's passing game has been to the outside, and I'm wondering if when they will look to hit Carmo on a
high snap over Carmo's head. He goes back to get it and then is tripped up. Cal Pallon able to trip up Carmo. The Hawks do everything, guys. They're punter too, and he had to field a high snap, and he looks like he could be shaken up a little bit.
He got hit in the legs.
Armstrong will have great field position for the 2nd time. This one not officially a turnover, but the result's similar, and that's not a good sign, as it looks like Emmanuel Carmo a little shaken up. But
and a little bit of cramping.
Might
it looks
be cramps, perhaps.
He had a major problem with that in the opening game too.
He realized there's no way he's going to be able to jump and grab this, and then
couldn't get his feet under him to kick it.
And Pallon, to his credit, no sense trying to go up high on a big, strong guy like that. He's went down, got his feet. Boy, the little thing, I mean, you watch an NFL game, you kind of almost take for granted that the snap's going to be good all the time on those kind of plays. But high school, I've seen already this season quite a few where that wasn't the case, whether it be a punt or whether it be a shotgun snap, or that's all part of it. And Armstrong now hoping to capitalize, and let's hope that Emmanuel Carmo is all right here. Again, certainly would appear that it's cramps they're working on there by judging by what they're treating him, how they're treating him.
But it always takes a few minutes to get the legs stretched out. But speaking of the snaps, last night in the Wayzata Shakopee game, the first snap for Wayzata went about 30 yards, and it ended up costing Wayzata 45 yards of field position.
Yeah, led right to a score.
And the first score of the game, you know.
Carmo to a sitting position at least here, and they'll try and get him hydrated. And
this is, you know, it's a warm evening, and you know it's been in the 80s the last couple of days, but you know, hydrating comes from 2 or 3 days before the contest, not as much during the contest. You've got to be conscious of what you're doing and how you're hydrating 24 hours a day, 2 or 3 days before the contest. It's going to put the Cooper defense in a tough situation, especially with Carmo out.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only are they in a bad spot on the field, they're also without one of their best players out there defensively right now, and Armstrong would love to take advantage. We'll see, though, if this break maybe hurts Armstrong momentum. I think they would have liked to get out there right away and get after it. Kevon Johnson taking the handoff, trying to sweep to the right. Well defended as Colley able to make a stop there along with Dalton. Did have a flag down on the play as well.
I didn't.
It's going to be a hold against Armstrong. See if they'll. Yeah, they will take. They pretty much have to, I guess.
I think so. You know, you want to make the yardage as uncomfortable as possible.
They did get a pretty good stop. So you know, in a different spot on the field, you might have thought about taking the play instead.
Or if it was second or third down.
Right. Yes. So they'll push them back to the 22-yard line here as the clock winds. First down and about 20 for Armstrong. Franke telling Johnson maybe a little shift in the play call here. Going to hand it off to Kevon Johnson. Colley wrapping him up and brings him down. They did still get about 4 or 5, but a nice tackle by Colley, and they are very happy to see him back in the lineup, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a energetic and active defensive player, and he moves around the field very nicely.
Coach Patterson was saying that he's kind of on a snap count here tonight, coming back off that injury, and that he probably wouldn't see much, if any, time on offense, which he, you know, in the game plan was that he would this year. But Franke going to step up and run it here on a little quarterback draw. Got a block out on the outside and then knocked out of bounds. Be inside
nice
the
run.
10 to about the 7 or 8.
They make it 3rd and about 3, 3rd and 4. I actually thought the spot was further upfield, but
yeah, it's, especially on that far side, and from where we're watching, it's hard to tell where exactly they went out of bounds, and obviously the officials right on it though, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they've got this correct.
They're going to go on a quick snap right now.
3rd and 5.
Boom.
Hand off to Kevon Johnson, making that cutback. And it'll be close here. Again, of course, they can get a first down short of the end zone, and looks like they're going to mark him a little short, maybe about a yard.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't quite get the line to gain, just a little bit short. It was a good tackle that forced Johnson sideways, took his forward momentum away. But they've run that play a couple of times where they come up and snap the ball quickly.
Oh, and they might have drawn
offside.
Cooper offside here.
Exactly.
Yep, it's going to be an offside.
They've run that play where they have limited huddle. The receivers are on the line of scrimmage. And when they come up to the line of scrimmage, the first 2 times they did it, they came up. As soon as they were lined up, they snapped the ball, bang. This time, they came up, they did the same thing, but they waited a count. Cooper anticipates the quick snap, jumps off sides. Now we got 1st and goal.
Big penalty there. It's actually been Armstrong that's been hurt more by penalties so far. But here's the handoff to Johnson, and he will get in for the touchdown. A 1-yard plunge for Kevon Johnson. His 3rd touchdown of the evening, and now Armstrong back up by 2 scores.
And again, taking advantage of the short field, making the touchdown happen, but Kevon Johnson with his 3rd touchdown of the game so far.
Here's Wiesjohn on to attempt another extra point. A little bit of a high snap, but they get the hold down, and kick is up, and it is good. So 2:51 to go before halftime. Armstrong 28 and Cooper 14 as you get another look at Johnson making that hard cut. I mean, any other situation you'd say it was very well defended, but when you've only got a yard to go,
there it is.
He made it. So, and again, not a score off a turnover per se, but it was a high snap on the punt, and that certainly cost Cooper there. And now it's their turn to try and answer again if they can here as they fought back from 14-0 down to tie it at 14, but now Armstrong gets the next 2.
So it's going to be, this is going to be tooth and tongue now the rest of the night. But the short field has played to the advantage of the offense. Is that the turnover, we might call that a turnover on downs with the bad snap, but getting the ball inside the 20-yard line that's almost a gimme.
Lloyd taking it up that left side and wrapped up there. Nice stop for the Falcons by Michael Funches. And so Cooper will have 2:43 to go. They have 1 timeout remaining, and they'll be at their 27-yard line here.
And this is not a panic situation by any means. That Cooper Cooper needs to do what they do well and do it well, and they've got a good chance to get back down the field and maybe get a score.
Carmo is back out there, by the way. He's in a slot on the top part of your screen out to the right of their offense. Van Voorst under pressure throwing for Smith. Nice catch on a ball a little bit behind him, and then he's brought down by Hatteen. And he'll get 5 on that.
And Van Voorst is looking to spread the ball around a little bit now, not only to try to get the ball to Young, but to hit other receivers. Oh, that was a nice grab.
Yeah, that
was a much harder catch than it looked.
Definitely was behind him, but he stayed with it and withstood the hit. New quarterback in there now is Thompson.
Yeah.
And they'll pick up good yardage, although not quite enough for the first down, as Smith on the carry there.
But they're staying ahead of the sticks there. They got 3rd and 2 now.
There's Torian Thompson, the junior quarterback, as they're working on Van Voorst on the bench there a little bit. Thompson, again, has been playing, getting some snaps as a quarterback, playing defense as well. But this is a guy that is not brand new to the getting offensive snaps, and a timeout taken here by Cooper. It is a tough thing, though, when you've been playing a different position to all of a sudden, during the middle of a drive, have to jump in.
Right.
And I suspect that's part of the reason for this timeout here.
And I'm thinking that Van Voorst might have an injury that's going to keep him on the sideline for a few minutes.
Looks like they're working on a thumb, maybe bloody thumb kind of thing.
A classic injury is a hit as the quarterback follows through and the thumb turns down. If it hits the tip of the thumb on a helmet, that's smarts. And on the throwing hand, that gripping of the thumb and to be able to release the ball properly is a delicate. We've seen that happen with a lot of quarterbacks.
The only
over
good
the
thing
years.
is it's 78 or whatever and not 38, because then it even hurts worse.
Yeah, the cold weather makes those dings uncomfortable.
Ooh, that looked like, the snap infraction then. No, the center picked the ball up in a snapping-like action there.
Yeah, you go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7.
Another look, and he hit a hand, not the helmet.
Oh, hit the hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's maybe better, because that's not going to cause a damage in nerve issues to the
Good
to his
catch
ability
on that
to
replay
grip.
there to
thank
spot
you.
that. So see if Thompson will throw it here. He's under pressure and takes a hit, and it's incomplete. There's immediate pressure put on him there by Fred Dasson.
Now the defense recognizes that with a new quarterback who's typically a defensive lineman, and even though he's played a fair amount so far this year, it's like you said, Jay, it's hard to go from being one position on defense and then all of a sudden running in and having to play quarterback. Quarterback is not an easy spot to just run in and do.
Carmo on to punt. Armstrong does not have anybody back deep. You know, if they're not believing they're punting or seeing if it's a bad snap. Oh, this time was a good snap, but he bobbled it, and he's going to be dropped right in place, short of the 20. So the previous time it was the snap that wasn't great. This time Carmo just dropped it.
Just dropped it, yep.
And even as big and strong as he is, he can't break that many tackles.
But there was a lot of, they had 11 guys on the line of scrimmage. It was all out 11 fire go on that punt rush, and he didn't have to have a bad snap. He was going to get rushed, and I think he recognized that in the pre-snap that, hey, I'm going to get a lot of guys here, and take your eyes off the ball for one instant, and there it is.
So Armstrong will get it at the 20-yard line here. Franke looking to go to the air, firing, complete to Wadke. Trying to run through a tackle there and did a pretty good job of it. He'll be down to about the 5-yard line, or actually went out of bounds a little prior, it looks like, but still a good gainer for the Falcons. They'll have a first down.
Very good gainer, and he's going to have first and goal. We see the ball dropped by Carmo, and you see the number of white jerseys that are there. Just everybody's there. And then catch here by Wadke, and
so first and goal from the 6 here for the Falcons. Johnson going in motion. They fake it to him. Franke running, ran into his blocker, reaches it out. They're going to mark him just short, it looks like. He thought he had the ball over, but they say his knee was down inside the 1.
His knee was down inside the 1, and he hadn't stretched the ball out yet. Good call by the line judge on that one, to see that the extension happened after the knee was down.
And they don't have to worry about time either, because they've got 3 timeouts left. It might actually almost work to their advantage if they're able to punch it in the next time.
Right. And you see his right knee went down before he stretched out.
Looks like they might be going to use a timeout here, I think. Yeah, right. I was just watching the top part, and I thought, oh, the ball's over, but
yep.
I think you're right.
Yeah, the ball did go over, but his knee hits there. We'll see right there, his knee hits before the ball crosses the goal line. So he stretches out. Now he stretches, but the ball's already been whistled dead. Outstanding camera work. Look at that.
Armstrong trying to stretch the lead, which is right now at 2 touchdowns, trying to make it 3 here to end the second quarter. Boy, just a few things that haven't gone right for Cooper. This game seemed a lot closer not long ago, but boy, we had the couple mishaps on punts.
Boy, the two, Cooper's going to be saying to themselves as they go in for halftime, we gave them 3 touchdowns. We spotted them 21-0, and and that's, if they score on this possession, it'll be three scores essentially off of turnovers deep in your own zone.
So 2 timeouts remaining, 28 seconds to go. It's second and goal from the 1 here for Armstrong. Back to Johnson. Ooh. He is submarined, and he did not make it.
Not in.
He'll be right back to the 1.
You have to use their
They went low here to submarine under the block here, and he got tripped. I think pretty good idea by the defender there to, create a pile if nothing else, so that Johnson.
And you see that he did not get into the end zone either. When he stretched, he did not make it into the end zone.
So another timeout, 20 seconds to go. It'll be third and goal. Cooper saying, not so fast here. We haven't given up a touchdown yet.
Let's not. Let's get these guys down.
Jeremiah Hoskins, a veteran offensive tackle, also playing well defensively there for Cooper. Big guy.
Yes. In my lexicon, he's big enough to work for a living.
Shaken up a little bit, unfortunately, here, trying to walk it off right now. So a third down and goal. Armstrong hoping that, you stopped us twice, we'll still get it in, but Cooper not ready to concede a score here late in the half.
No.
Franke will keep it himself
Ooh.
and bounces around a block and in for the touchdown. Penetration up front there by Ingram, but he made Franke guess and go one way or the other, and he picked the right way.
And Ingram got there, and he just couldn't get Franke wrapped up. So the score was 16 seconds. The downside for Cooper is that Armstrong gets the ball, start the third quarter.
Wiesjohn on to attempt the extra point. Wow, the Falcons put 35 points on the board here in this first half. They'd gone over 40 their first two games, but not particularly strong opponents.
Right.
And, they're taking advantage. I mean, sure, like you said, a few of those things were mishaps by Cooper, but they're taking advantage, too.
You still got, even if you have a short field, you still got to put it in the end zone to count the scores. They don't just automatically put them up. But the fact is that Cooper is going to be saying to themselves, if we don't put the ball on the floor, it's a tie ball game. And that's where you have to look at it, and you can't. Well, we're down by 3 scores. No, we got to play the game. We'll let the scores take care of themselves. We got to play the game. Defensively, we got to stop them. Offensively, we got to take advantage of everything we can and get the ball going. Armstrong, on the other hand, has to say, we got to just keep going. We just got to keep going.
Wiesjohn to kick off here. Cooper is out of timeout, so, I mean, a big return would be really about the only thing that would give them a shot at something late here. Also, we don't know if Van Borst will be back in or not. It looked like he maybe was getting ready to. But
yeah, he was warming up on the sideline, and I think his hand is, after it was looked at, and I think they dealt with it.
It looks like Thompson will be in there, at least for now. They're maybe going to just give him till halftime here. The kick recovered on the 20-yard line as they look at that thumb all wrapped up. Probably just one play here, you would think, unless we have a penalty. And Armstrong does have a timeout left, but I doubt they would use it in this spot in this score if,
Cooper will probably just choose to run the ball and just let the clock go down.
Hoskins does come back in there at left tackle. They go to Davison and a big gap up the middle. Took a hit, but he'll pick up a nice gainer there. Cooper fans wanting a late hit there.
Yeah, understandably.
Clock will wind, though, and they're going to run out of time here, I think, to be able to get this one off. And we will reach halftime in this one. So good first half for the visitors. Armstrong scoring the last 3 touchdowns of that first half. And our halftime score is Armstrong 35 and Cooper 14. We'll have first half highlights and stats, and then our second half of football here on CCX Sports.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
And welcome back here to Cooper High School. Thanks for joining us for an all Robbinsdale matchup in high school football on CCX Sports. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Bill Hunstock. Armstrong leading at 35-14. They dominated early and then dominated late after Cooper had fought back to tie things up, as we check out some highlights from the first half. And didn't get off to a good start for Cooper as right away to begin the ball game. They have a fumble here, just not put away there by Smith, and the Falcons get the recovery, and then they quickly able to take advantage of it as Kevon Johnson scores just about a minute and a half into the game. They were already up quickly by a 7-0 count. And then watch this fake here. Everybody goes with the back, and whoops, the quarterback Franke still has it and shows off some wheels too. 40-yard run for the touchdown. That was late in the first quarter, so they're up 14-0 after one. But then it was Cooper's turn to get it going. As a good long completion, Van Voorst to Young does a nice job winning that battle for the football. And then they'll end up with Carmo punching it in as they change directions for the start of the quarter there. And that brought them to 14-7. And then they're able to get a conversion after this play here. A completion to Gideon Brecker, but the defense flowing to the ball, and they just barely get it before it goes out of bounds. Recovery there for Hayes, and then a great throw and catch right on the money to Young on that fade in the corner. Van Voorst put it right on him after a great move by Young to turn the defender around a little bit. So that's the point. It's 14-all, and Cooper saying, okay, we're doing pretty well. But big play here is Franke able to find Kempel, and that set up a first down and goal for Armstrong.
That was on a 3rd and long, too.
Yeah, and then they get Johnson punching it in there for his second TD of the night at that point as they took the lead back. And then another one for Kevon Johnson after, twice in a row late, Cooper had troubles with punt. One was a high snap over Carmo's head, and then this one he just plain dropped. And Armstrong able to tackle him, and that leads to yet another score. I mean, when it was 21-14, if they hadn't allowed them to tackle those last two on, it would seem a lot different. Franke finishing that drive, and you get a look at the totals in the first half, certainly favoring Armstrong, but it was those, as you said, Bill, those few big mishaps for Cooper that really turned this one, to a more lopsided score than it seemed like it for part of the time.
Right, and as we look at the points off of turnovers, it's hard to put in those 4th down, turnovers deep in your own zone when it's a turnover on downs. Like you said, Jay, doesn't count as a turnover, but it's the same effect.
Armstrong has had some penalty struggle. That's probably been their biggest negative over the half, but overall they got to be happy. They have come this short distance over to Cooper and lead at 35-14, but still plenty of game to play here. We will get set for our second half of football coming up here on CCX Sports. Armstrong 35 and Cooper 14.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
Not surprisingly, a good crowd on hand here for the Armstrong-Cooper rivalry, and doesn't hurt that it's a very beautiful evening out here as well. And so far, the visiting fans have had a little bit more to cheer about. 35-14 Armstrong, but as we said, a lot of football to go. Cooper fought back and tied it up after they're down 2 scores early, but see how things shake out. And as Bill mentioned, at the end of the half, Armstrong also will get the ball first. Van Voorst will be the kickoff man for Cooper. It'll be interesting to see if he's back in there at quarterback when they get the ball back too. I would suspect yes, but we'll see. He had a little bit of a thumb injury late in that half. And he can kick the ball quite nicely as well. And it was fielded right in the corner there by Delane for Armstrong, and he breaks a tackle and out over the 40-yard line. Nice return there. So pretty good field position for Franke and the Armstrong offense, already up 35-14. Football at the 43. At first, I was almost questioning whether this was a good idea to field this one here.
Yeah.
But he made good use of a couple blocks, but then a really nice move right there to outrun that tackle.
Yep. And get the ball back in very good field position at the 43.
Handoff going to Johnson, and nice tackle by Tony Colley. He will wrap him up, maybe about a half-yard gain, if that. Colley, again, coming back off injury and seeing his first extensive time, and he's made a few pretty good tackles for the Hawks. No gain on the play. All in all, they've done a pretty good job on Johnson. Yeah, he does have 3 touchdowns, and he did have the screen pass that was a huge play. But, I mean, they held him to, unofficially, 69 yards rushing in the first half, which by his standards, I mean, that's a pretty decent job defensively.
Yeah.
Ooh, running behind that big O-line there, Johnson will rip off 8 on that play.
Boy, and a really nice trap block by the offensive line on the left side, guard and tackle coming and winding in to lead that play.
And it's not a good feeling when you kind of get pushed back on skates like that when you got locked up and driven backward.
Yeah, you really have to work to keep your shoulders moving forward.
3rd and a couple. Give us to Johnson, bouncing it to the edge, cut back. He took a hard hit. Going to be close, and it looks like he should have the first down. Yes, he will. Made a very nice cut. Again, not too bad a job defending, but he just made that one nice cut enough to get that first down.
Yeah, that 3 yards to gain, and he got 3.5.
And this, for Armstrong right here, I mean, yes, you'd love to go down and score, but you'd also like to get a drive to just kind of take some time and keep Cooper from getting any momentum, too.
Absolutely.
Franke handing it off, and that one was well defended by Hayes, as that time it was Wiley taking the handoff. And a short gain. We do have an injury on the play.
Yeah, Hayes coming right down the line of scrimmage to make that play from the backside, but we have an offensive lineman who's more than a little bit uncomfortable right now.
Looks like Dylan Thurston, the left tackle, who is down, shaken up.
Looks like a leg injury of some variety. Hope it's not a knee. Trainer is with him, and looks like they're looking at his left knee.
Let's see if we can pick him up. Oh, they fell into the back of his leg there, and it got bent back hard. Yeah, that is the knee that he's reaching for.
Yeah,
ouch.
That's way uncomfortable.
And that's you know, for an offensive lineman, that's something that is a danger at almost any play like that. I mean, there's no way you can see it coming.
And you can't protect yourself when it happens.
No. The tackler and the ball carrier both fell into the back of his legs there.
It's one of the things that virtually all college linemen and NFL linemen wear their knee braces. And those things save a lot of people that kind of an injury because they keep the leg from moving too many degrees, either knee backward in a hyperextension area or rotating. It's hard to stop the rotation part, but that's a classic knee injury for a lineman. That's when they get rolled up on from behind.
Willie Howard showing Rufus Best. I think he's showing him that replay, actually, it looked like there to show what happened as they fell back into him. They've got a cart. They're out driving it around, but they're not driving it onto the field, at least of yet. It looks more like a race down the sideline. Not sure if they told them they don't need it or... Yeah. Looks like they're going to get Thurston to his feet here, and I wonder if it might have been a situation where they want an ambulance. Look at that. Willie Howard's helping him out. I'd love to see that. Willie's lost some weight, but he's still strong enough to help out on that, I think, right?
He's a large human being, no matter what.
Well, you hate to see this for Dylan Thurston here. Obviously you're not going to speculate, but it certainly appeared that it had the ability to be serious. Something fairly serious to that knee. And those are the kind where you almost just wish that your legs had slipped out from, just flown out from
underneath you. Yeah,
but
exactly.
Didn't quite work out that way. So it looks like Oliver Brecht will come in to replace him here. Got a 2nd down and 9. That was a 1-yard gain for Armstrong on that last play.
And Thurston is saying, you mean I got hurt that badly on a 1-yard gain? Come on, guys.
Franke dropping to throw, steps up, throwing into traffic and broken up. Battle for the football there, and it was Hayes Dalton, getting a piece of that one for Cooper as he stepped right into that throw, and it probably would have been a completion if it wasn't for Dalton, but it was kind of an ill-advised throw there into some traffic. And knocked away as he looked for Kemple.
Yeah, Jordan Dalton made a really nice stretch to get a hand on that ball.
So 3rd down and 9 here for Armstrong. Franke rolling to his right, throwing this time right on the money to Kemple, and a great hands catch there. That's your H-back or tight end snaring that one out of midair. That was a tremendous catch. And a great throw, too.
He threw the ball right where the only guy that could catch it was the guy that caught it. Kemple does a good job. Look, he was covered. The ball was thrown at the moment. It got to him at the moment that he broke free.
So at the Cooper 24, Armstrong's drive continues on a clutch 3rd down pass. Kevon Johnson met there, keeps his legs going. Eventually shoved to the sideline there as Manny Allen stood him up there, but Johnson kept those legs driving and got a little bit more out of that one, and it looked like he might, although they did hold him to about 3, maybe 4.
But he's a tough guy to bring down. He doesn't stop his leg drive at all.
Second and 6. Franke this time rolling left. Flips it out and complete. And Carmo shoving the receiver to the ground, but Schlingen with the catch, and he will hang on. They'll pick up a couple.
3rd and about 4 now.
Again, for Armstrong, they're getting field position. They're eating up time. Again, ideally, they'd like to score here, but even if they don't, it's been an effective possession.
Absolutely. They've, keep the Cooper offense on the sideline.
Johnson now coming in motion. They fake it to him. Franke trying to get outside. Ooh. This time Cooper getting over there to stop it as Hayes got a hit on him and then got some help as well. Franke was, the stick was right in front of him, so he knew where he needed to get, but he couldn't quite make it.
Couldn't quite get there. It's 4th and gain of about a yard, but looks like it's going to be 4th and right around 3. But that's been a very effective play. The fake to Johnson going one direction and Franke coming back with the ball the other on a kind of a quarterback counter.
They come to the line quick again, seeing if they can draw Cooper off. Didn't happen that time. Felt like Cooper was much more ready for that than the other time. They were keying on Johnson so hard on a couple previous similar plays. And a little pass. Did he catch this one?
No.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be ruled a catch. Great job by Wadke reaching down. And I have to admit, on my first view, I thought he did catch it.
I thought he did not catch it.
I thought he did. It looks like I was watching through binoculars, and I think he grabbed it.
No, that's
maybe
not a catch.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
That is not a catch. That ball bounced off the field. Hate to see that happen.
Here's Johnson running it up the middle, and he'll be down inside the 2.
He got it on the bounce. We'll see right
angle.
here. Bang.
Yeah.
Bounces off the ground.
He kind of caught the back end of the football there, and the front end hit the ground, it looked like.
It definitely bounced off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the back judge did not call that.
Your eyes are better than mine, Bill, because I did think he had it on initial, and you said no. And you see, it got through his hands and is on the ground.
Don't like to openly criticize the officials, but that was missed by the back judge. We have somebody injured, I guess, huh? One of the Cooper guys is down.
Cooper guy injured again here.
Was that pass on a 4th down play, too?
Manny Allen making his way up. Looks like maybe shoulder is what he's flexing there. So it'll be a 2nd down and goal here for Armstrong from the 2. Franke will give it off to Johnson. Good penetration by Hoskins in the Cooper front there. And he is stacked up well shy of the end zone. You have the penalty marker down. Oh, illegal substitution against Cooper. Yeah, 12 out there, it looked like.
It's a good way. It's a good way to get a stop, though.
Yeah. Coach Howard right now counting, and they realize, okay, we did have extra. And those kind of things happen a couple ways when you've got injury and you replace it, but also when you're switching to a goal line defense or something. That sometimes things get lost in translation, and somebody on the sideline doesn't hear a change in personnel or whatnot. So it's a half the distance penalty here, but obviously they get that down again. Franke looking to throw up in the back of the end zone, and it is good for the touchdown. Just barely coming down. In play is Kemple for the touchdown grab for the Falcons. It didn't develop quickly. Normally you're thinking on a play like that, if you're going to fool him right away and pop it in, or it's not going to work. But he stayed with it, and he trusted Kemple to go up and get that one in the back of the end zone. And now they'll try and tack on the extra point. And the kick is good. So now 6:18 to play in the third, and it's 42-14. Armstrong as Eli Kemple getting the touchdown.
And they not only did
just getting the foot down. You see, a well defended initially, it seemed like, and then to the back. Oh, he got that left foot down. He
just got his left toe down. And in high school football, because he only has to get one foot down, If they knock him out of bounds after he catches the ball and he doesn't get a foot down, it's not a catch.
Right, and that's what they were definitely trying to do, was knock him out of midair, and I think he knew that too. That's why he kind of threw the one foot down hard. The second foot came down out of bounds, but by that point it didn't matter. He was already being credited with the touchdown. Kemple looks like he's visiting the trainer a little bit here too. But worth it to score a TD, I guess, right?
Right, and almost a 6-minute possession for Armstrong. Not only the score, but a lot of time off of the clock.
And this ball dying right near the sideline, and then Lloyd coming up and got something out of it out over the 25. Boy, just for a second he was panicking, thinking, gosh, I thought this was going out, and then it didn't.
He was scared on that one because it looked like it was cleanly going to go out of bounds, and then it just stayed right on the sideline.
It will be Thompson quarterbacking, so maybe that thumb injury is a little more problematic than we thought.
See Van Voorst here on the, just standing back by the bench.
Hand off to Smith, and a big gap up the middle. Smith with a good run, cut down there by Hattin, but he will pick up yardage out to about the 37. And now give him a dozen.
Cooper moving with a little bit of urgency here for obvious reasons.
Thompson to throw, gets the completion. Pretty well defended though, as Young will get the catch, but they get an immediate stop, picks up 5 or so.
And now we see Thompson settling in a little bit better here.
Yeah, he
at
probably
the quarterback.
he probably got a chance to know that he might. Okay, you very well might be in there, and let's get you ready for the second half.
And he actually started the game against Park Center, so he's not unfamiliar with what he's doing.
Handing it off, and Smith is rocked. Met hard there by Wiley and also Daly.
Mm-hmm.
And Wiley is shaken up.
Yeah, he's walking off the field a little slow. It's been a very physical game. We've had players from both sides get stung a little bit and then have to come off for a play or two.
Another look, as you see, trying to get out to the left, and took a pretty good pop.
Yeah,
Wiley, you could tell that one hurt him right away, though. I don't know.
Took
I'm
a
not so
thigh
sure.
to thigh or knee to the shoulder.
Yeah, it looked like sometimes tackling somebody can hurt the tackler a little bit too.
Absolutely.
So a 3rd and long for Thompson. He stumbles a little bit coming out. Now throwing deep down the sideline. Oh, just failed to connect. As Lloyd had a step or two. Boy, right when he threw the ball, I'm like, oh boy, he's really breaking open there.
Yep.
But it's a tough. When you're looking at that distance downfield, your margin is. I mean, that's a tough ball to get in there.
That's a tough catch to make anyway, and it's a tough ball to throw. However, that was well thrown and good position, and just a couple of inches over the outstretched hands of Lloyd.
Cooper's had difficulty in a couple of punts that have really cost them in this game. A little bit of a high snap, but not too bad. Carmo gets the kick away. And Gorgo's running out of the way of that one. Look at it. It's going to go all the way down inside the 15.
Almost wondered if that touched him.
Yeah, he was sure hoping it
didn't, I don't think,
wouldn't.
but it looked like, oh my gosh.
He was running out of the way. Spotted on the 14. About a 45-yard punt. Watch him. Oh, boy.
Right there. Almost hit the back of his right leg.
So Falcons get the football back up 42-14. Ben Borst is warming up again over there a little bit, but
he doesn't. I don't see a bandage or anything on his hand, but he's definitely favoring his right hand.
hand off to Kevon Johnson. Stacked up there. They'll keep the clock moving. They say it was forward progress there. Stopped Highland on the tackle for Cooper.
I would not be surprised to see Armstrong now with the lead that they have to be conservative with the ball. If they throw passes that are going to have a high percentage of completion, or just simply run the ball as much as they can, and as long as they move the sticks, they're going to be happy with that.
Franke with the keeper. Colley slams him down about the 20. Officials timeout. Got another injury here. Hayes, though, helped up quickly.
He's going to have to come off for at least one play.
Hector Quay will come on. We have 3rd and about 4 coming for Armstrong as they'll wind the clock here. Franke looking to throw. Oddkey with the catch right in front of Carmo, who almost had a chance to make a play on the ball. It's going to be short of the first down, I think.
It's going to be 4th.
Oh no. They're moving the sticks. Wow.
I thought it was a yard short of the line to gain.
I did at first as well. That was kind of a dangerous one. Carmo was in a position and almost got to that. Wadke did a good, great lesson for receiver. Make sure you meet the football. Don't wait till it comes to you. He got his hands out there.
And he shielded the defender with his body so that Carmo had to go through him to get to the football.
A little bit of a mix-up there, it looked like. Franke will end up keeping it. He and Johnson weren't quite on the same page on the side that one was going to go to. He will get about 5 out of it here.
He got a good gain on a play that looked like it was gone the wrong direction.
Well, what you said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised, too, about staying somewhat conservative with it here, because really the only way Cooper at this score in time could get back into it if Armstrong gives them the football,
gives them extra possessions.
Hurry.
The
other thing is, at what point do you say we have enough lead that we don't want to risk Johnson and Franke? I don't think it's quite there yet.
Oh no.
Handoff is to Johnson here. Almost squirted through that tackle, but he's tripped up.
But the other thing is, Cooper's dealing with, we have to get 4 possessions, and we have to score on every possession now, and they've only had 1 possession in this quarter. So how do you follow that up in the 4th quarter? How do you get 4 possessions in 12 minutes? That's going to be the real challenge for Cooper.
You talked about it earlier, though. You kind of have to not think that way and just do the best that you can on each possession. And Johnson is stopped. Ooh, nice stop. As Wiley Hunt coming up to drag him down there, and going to bring up a 4th down here, and in this spot on the field. Certainly would expect them to punt here.
I'm thinking that this will be a punt.
Actually, they may not. I don't think they'll need to run another play before the quarter ends, though. As Armstrong getting the only score of the third, so they are going to take a 42-14 lead into the fourth quarter here. Punting situation perhaps coming up for the Falcons. We'll be back with our fourth quarter here. Armstrong Cooper football on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Welcome back. Cool shot of the moon here as we get to mid-September. It's fall coming up. It's been still summer-like weather here this last week, especially here. 42-14. Armstrong in command here as we change directions and go to quarter number 4. Falcons have a 4th and 1 at their own 33. They do have their offense out there. Might try to draw them offside, or they may just say, you know what, we can get a yard, we'll do it, and be a bit of a gamble, I guess, but not out of the question.
I'm surprised at this.
Guess it's not a sure thing they're actually going to snap it, though, either. We get a flag down here. And that'll mark it off 5. So now that if they had any intention of going for it, I would say that's pretty much not the case anymore. Daly is the punter. Whatever they had in mind, we never really got to find out there. They get that penalty pre-snap. Daly, a low knuckleball, and fielded on the run there by Lloyd. And then he'll step out in Armstrong territory at about the 45.
That was a good decision by Lloyd not to let that ball bounce a second time and get some yardage back. You know, a low kick like that, if that hits the ground right, and it just takes off, and boom, you lose another 20 yards. So him picking that ball up and getting the, and I see that Van Voorst is back in.
Yes.
So let's see how well his right hand holds up here.
Does have a wrap on the thumb. Ooh, a handoff, and Daly gets there almost as soon as the ball carrier got the ball. Davison might have wished he could give that one back to his quarterback. And then we have an injury.
Daly.
Looks like Daly.
He was like he was in the Cooper huddle. He got the wind knocked out of him, I think.
Watch how quickly he arrives. Ooh, he's right there.
Right there.
Davison tried to fight his way out of that one, but then the help arrived as well as Wiley got there. Daly just completely unblocked.
You don't get blocked. You move pretty quick.
2nd and a dozen coming up here for Cooper. Van Voorst dropping to throw. He's going to go deep down the middle for Carmo, and it is incomplete. Gorgos defending. We had a penalty back near the quarterback. It's going to be a hold against Cooper.
He actually threw a pretty good ball. Looked like that had a chance. Carmo was in a crowd, but he had a chance to make that play.
Well, and as it turned out, even if he caught it, though, they end up with the penalty back.
Right. So a moot point, but now we got second and quite long. Second and 25 plus.
Second and 22, it looks
22,
like there, yeah. When it's that far behind the change, you have to kind of almost count by fives, or at least I do. Van Voorst getting good time, rolling right. Now he's going to throw it up deep down that sideline for Young. Wow, did he get this one in bounds?
Oh.
No, they say out of bounds. Great effort to get back to it.
He did everything right. He caught the ball, did everything. You got to catch the ball first. You let the officials decide whether it was inbounds or not. Do everything you can to get your foot down. That was a heck of a grab.
Seemed like some contact maybe a little bit too there.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
he got his left foot came down, left toe comes down inside, but his right toe hit first. Boom. Look at that.
And I don't think you could have argued if there was a PI call against the Armstrong player as well. I thought he got quite a bit into the receiver there. Ooh. Trying to throw to Young, and he didn't see it coming. And luckily
he would have lost. If he'd have caught that, he'd have lost his head.
Yeah, good. I think a good hold up to not take that hit there too.
Yep.
I mean, both sportsmanship wise, but also penalty wise.
Penalty wise, yeah, that would have been an automatic first down.
Here's another look, as you see. I mean, some hand fighting, but I don't know. If that's me, I'm saying Gorgos was too physical too early on that one.
And when you look at him coming down, it almost left-right rather than right-left. And if
Carmo getting a high kick away, Armstrong did not put anybody back deep to receive it, and another good bounce. So the punting fortunes have improved on the last couple here for Cooper, but they'll give the football back to the Falcons with 10:43 to go here in the fourth. Armstrong in command at 42-14. Heck of an effort there by Young, but just ends up as a near miss.
Young has really started to come into his own as a receiver, I think. Watching him in the first game and seeing him now, I can see a maturity in him, also with Van Voorst.
Still got Franke, still got Kevon Johnson in the backfield, the Falcons do. Handoff goes to Johnson, gets by the first tackler, shakes through another, still on his feet. Johnson, it's a foot race now. Johnson down the sideline is gone. 84-yard touchdown. Boy, a few guys had a pretty good shot at him early on, but Johnson able to keep his legs churning and gets through them, and he'll go the distance.
Oh, and that's just a heck of a run, a heck of an individual effort after he got pretty well slowed down at the line of scrimmage.
Johnson, it was hard to tell if he's tired or maybe a little bit hurt, cramping up.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
My guess is that he's now over 100 yards rushing.
Almost on that play. Weiss-John on to attempt the extra point here. And his kick is good, so he is 7 out of 7. Give a little credit to the kick and hold and snapper too, as they've done that part of the game well. Here's
right
a look.
there is a broken tackle, 2 broken tackles right there.
That one's not going to be a favorite of the Cooper defense to watch on film.
No, not at all, because Emmanuel Carmo, he runs right out of Carmo's arms.
And then we said Johnson has speed. It looked like they had a chance to almost catch him, but not quite. And then finishes it off with a celebration and then gets
a cramp.
Keep in mind, this will push us into running time too, which is for Armstrong's
make a tough night ever tougher for Cooper.
And I would guess there's a person or two on the Cooper sideline that thinks maybe that was running it up with your top guys running a touchdown that long late in the fourth, but
I don't think at that point, they were probably just as interested in running as, if they could run 5 minutes off the clock, they'd have been happier with that.
Right. This kick will go into the end zone, so Cooper will get the football back here, and it's been mostly Armstrong here tonight. Ooh. Cooper had that little stretch where they got back and tied it at 14, but by and large, the visitors from Armstrong have owned the night here, and they're going to win for the 5th time in a row against their district rival. Doesn't seem like all that long ago. The question was, can they ever beat Cooper again? It was like they had their number, but now that question being asked over on this side of 169.
Yeah, what is this now? We're going to be 5 in a row.
Van Voorst looking to throw. Rush coming and incomplete as he swung it out there trying to get it to Davison. Be a 2nd and 10, and again the clock, it does continue to tick here.
Yeah, it's going to be. This will be a tough one for Cooper to digest here the next couple of days, simply because they know they had 3 mistakes that cost them touchdowns at a crucial point in the game.
Ooh, Van Voorst takes a pop, gets it out to Young. That is going to be a flag, probably a late hit on the quarterback.
Yep.
Young with the catch. See if they'll call this roughing the passer. They're going to stop the clock now for this penalty.
Yeah, personal foul. That's going to be an automatic 1st down anyway.
Personal foul penalty against the Falcons, roughing the passer.
It was close, but
I don't like that call.
No, that's a tough one.
The first 100 years of football would have never been a penalty on that.
I think you're right on that.
If I'm the D coaches watching that film, I'd say do the same thing next time. That was a clean hit.
You do that 10 times, we'll tell you to do it 10 times. Yep.
Van Voorst stepping up, throwing to Carmo, and he's got it. Carmo at the 40, the defender. I think he saw who it was, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to knock him down. I better just wrap him up. And a good job to hang on in traffic there.
Carmo really went up for that. You get a glimpse of his athletic capabilities.
At the 39 now, handoff going to Davison. He keeps his legs driving. He'll pick up about 8, maybe 9 on the play. Well, you keep coming if you're Cooper. Obviously, the score isn't what they had in mind coming into tonight, but
hey, you got to try to score. Every time you got the ball, you got to try to score. You got to do something.
Van Voorst throwing. Young is wide open for the touchdown. 31-yard strike. They made that one look easy moving up the field.
Right, saying, why couldn't you be that open all the night? A great route by Young to get open, make a nice catch, and a good throw by Van Voorst.
Besa will come on to attempt the extra point. It's a low kick, but it gets through.
You know, and both these guys are going to be back. Young is a junior and Van Voorst is a sophomore.
Yeah, they really lost track of him here when I looked up and was like, oh boy, he is really open, and did a good job watching it in. Sometimes those are the hardest catches when you have to wait for it and you're open like that, but put it right on him again, and now 49-21, so we're back out of running time as well.
There we are.
I'm kind of glad to know, Bill, that we didn't jinx Young with our key player status in the pregame. He's had himself a nice night.
You know, and that series right there says something, I think, pretty dramatic about Cooper. You know, you're down by 4 or 5 touchdowns, and you can just say, hey, we can pack it in. You know, we don't have to go out and play hard. And yet, that drive, they played hard. They ran the ball a couple of times. They had a couple of nice pass plays. You know, these guys there's no quit in these guys.
Cooper trying to build a little momentum into the next week as well.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be thinking ahead to that too. They'll be on the road their next 2 games. They're at St. Louis Park next Friday, and then on Saturday they'll play an afternoon game at Apple Valley on the 28th. Meanwhile, for Armstrong, they're at home the next 2. They've got Cretin Durham Hall on the 20th next Friday, and then 27th St. Thomas Academy. So you got some tough tests coming up.
Boy, that's a couple of tough games right there. Both Cretin and St. Thomas. St. Thomas has been very good the last couple of years.
Yeah, and they've got later on some good teams too. Andover, Matamidi. We'll have, by the way, Armstrong fans, we'll have your home game versus Matamidi on CCX Sports coming up later in the season as well. Armstrong was worried about onside kick there, and then they're going to let this ball. They got to
let
recover
it bounce.
it.
Yeah, let it bounce and let them cover the ball. No, catch it.
Johnson getting back on that one. Gorgos, it almost looked like he thought it was like a punt. Rule like a punt.
Yeah.
He was going to let Cooper come down and recover it.
Yeah, somebody, was it Johnson that got on the ball and covered it, but they're deep in their own zone right about the 10-yard line.
Oh, 8:05 to go. Armstrong gets the ball back. Cooper quickly scoring a touchdown. Not exactly tightening up a lot, but 49-21. Franke is still in there. Johnson is not. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he is. Here's Kevon Johnson. Yeah. If it wasn't for that last touchdown, I doubt he would have been, but you never quite feel comfortable that you have it sealed up, I think.
Coaches are paranoid about that. They, in their minds, they're going, well, we got to make sure we keep doing it because they could get 5 touchdowns in 3 minutes.
With an 8-yard gain, bring up 2nd down.
You can see Coach Negan here. I can just see what in his mind he's going, well, we got to make sure we don't give up anymore. We got to turn the sticks.
Wiley will get that 1st down. Wiley taking the handoff here and cut down. A stop by Quay. Pick up about a yard on that attempt there for the Falcons, who right now just, more than anything, just trying to chew up clock here. And
content to let the clock run, that's for sure.
And again, that last touchdown by Cooper brings it under the margin of running time. Otherwise, we would pretty much be over by now. And off going to Johnson. And he is chopped down.
It's going to be 3rd and short.
Harris on the tackle. The 3rd and a couple here for Armstrong as they look to the sideline. Play call here. Wiley will have the first down. Took a hit, but will squeeze out well enough of a gain to get the sticks to move. So 1st and 10 at the 38 now for Armstrong. They're going to use as much of the play clock between plays as they can here.
They're going to use all 40 seconds.
Well, and here's too where you have having a veteran quarterback, you trust him to do that without panicking at the end.
Exactly. And Cooper said, you know, yeah, they want to stop the clock, but they don't want to use up all their timeouts right now. But you're down by 4 scores. So.
Wiley will pick up 3 on that one. Not the kind of evening Coach Patterson and the staff were hoping for here tonight. I think both teams were kind of just interested to see, you know, where are we at?
Yeah.
And obviously it's been a better night for Armstrong overall, and Cooper's done some good things, but not as many as they needed to do to really stay right in this one.
Exactly. And for Cooper, they've got to say, you know, we're a good football team. We're just, you know, we can't let this one game slow us down.
Wiley looks like he will have enough for a first down out over the 48 to about the 49. Good chance to get him some carries as well, backing up Johnson. He's obviously played a good game on defense.
And I think for the next 3-4 minutes, we will not see
I would hope
Kevon Johnson.
I think it's fair to say he should be done for the night now.
He's had a pretty good night.
Back to Wiley up the middle here, and he will keep driving, picks up about 8. Well, and you touched on it real early in the game, Bill. When you have a guy who has the speed to break them, but also the toughness and the vision to break tackles and get you the 3-4 yard gains as well.
Yep,
that's a good package.
Yeah, and I think Kevon Johnson is beginning, if not already having proved himself to be not only a good running back, but one of the best running backs around. He's the whole package. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he's tough inside, he's fast.
Wiley, he'll just keep it on the ground and he will pick up that first down.
I think they're almost to the spot here. It looks like Cooper is not going to use their timeout. You'd almost go to the point where it's just, we're 2 minutes, that's 3 plays. we're just going to kneel down and go home with a win. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to victory formation. They only have to do it 2 more times.
So Armstrong, ranked 7th in Class 5A, might move up a little bit depending on other results, of course, but getting what figured to be their toughest test so far and showing out pretty well again.
And in some ways it was pretty tough, but they really showed some resiliency, and they showed some really tough plays where they, and they took advantage of everything that they were given.
Under 40 seconds to go now. They'll
have
one
to snap
more
at
snap.
one time. Yeah.
And Armstrong will be able to celebrate a 49-21 win over Cooper. As we said, their 5th in a row over the Hawks here, and an impressive showing for the Falcons. Got that early touchdown after the Cooper turnover, and then scored again to go up 14-0. But then when Cooper came back with those 2, you're thinking, well,
it's going to be a good game.
And they kind of able to pull away and put this one away and secure the victory to go to 3-0, as we said, and getting ready for a couple of home games against Cretin and St. Thomas Academy. And again, for Cooper, they will be on the road against St. Louis Park and Apple Valley the next 2 weeks. The Hawks 2-1, but as Bill said, still a lot of football to go, and there's still a chance to be a very good football team this year.
I think so.
We hope you've enjoyed this one here tonight from Barbara A. Lehman Stadium at Cooper High School. Again, your final is Armstrong 49, Cooper 21. For Bill Hunstock and all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Cooper.